I have three books. One is written under my name, Janet F. Williams, and the other two are written under my pen name, which is Zoey Amos. The first book, this one is evergreen. It's You Don't Ask, You Don't Get. And this is about how to ask questions in such a way so that you are more likely to get a positive response. And it could be in anything from relationships, career, if you're in retail, it's about how to give somebody what they want so you are more likely to get what you want. The next book that I published is this one. This is Superior. This one is a young adult, slightly futuristic lesbian romance that takes place in what used to be the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's quite the adventure, and the focus is more on the adventure and the relationship as opposed to it being set in the future. And this is a novella, so it's a slightly shorter, probably about 45,000 words instead of your typical, 75, 80. And this one, I have the finalist sticker on there. And I want to mention this one actually won 3 awards, including named Best Specialized Instruction Book by Kirkus, which is of course, well known. And then the last book, and this one was traditionally published. This one is called Talk to Me. And this is also a lesbian romance. This one takes place right here in San Diego. And it is an over-the-top, crazy comedy drama that takes place on the heels of really the end of talk radio. It is wild and lots of humor in it and over the top situations. People who are local are likely to recognize a lot of the places in the book, and that's always fun too. I always get interesting comments from the different writers and also the other presenters at the fairs. I used to speak at the Southern California Writers Conference for many years until COVID hit, and then, just everything stopped. You never know what somebody's going to say that's going to strike an idea. Um, I have heard from other writers, especially at the last book fair that I was at. I was on a panel with one woman who talked about how she was able to turn her prolific book writing into a steady gig. And I listened very carefully to that. So, yeah, yes, definitely. You never know what you're going to learn. I am also a writing coach, and I come across a lot of the same kinds of problems with new writers. I think it's important for new writers to be a part of a writing group. Getting the feedback from their peers is a way for them to see what they're doing when they don't see it themselves. Definitely. Yeah, just keep writing, read in your genre, and read good books. There's a lot of really wonderful writing out there. And I have to say that when I read really good books, I'm always inspired about my own writing. Yes, I'd love to. Um, I started a company, Good Day Media, back in 2010. And originally, I created Good Day Media as a platform for my book that I put out, You Don't Ask, You Don't Get. And it has since evolved, and it's now really an umbrella for all the creative things that I do. So I am primarily a book manuscript editor. I also edit short stories for individuals and also for publishers. As a writing coach, I give one-on-one attention to writers. So not everybody can go to a writing group, and not everybody gets out of a writing group what they hope to. And I work with people and point out the things that maybe other people don't see because I do have a different eye as a professional editor. So I can show people how to better their voice. It's not about sounding like me, it's about making them sound more like them and being more believable. There's all kinds of things people have issues with. Some people are good with conversation, sometimes they're better with narrative. And so on those low parts, try and bring them up and accentuate where they really shine. I think it's really important to have a good match when you're looking for an editor. I cannot and I do not take everything that comes my way. The last 2 weeks has been super busy. I'm not sure why, but I've gotten about 7 or 8 inquiries just in that short period of time. There's no way I can take everybody on. And I'm going to be putting my mind into somebody else's book for quite a while. I want to make sure that I'm going to be happy there. So it has to work for me, and I have to feel like I'm going to do right by the author. So it doesn't hurt to interview a couple of different editors and get a sense of who's going to be the right fit for you. And of course, there are other considerations, pricing and availability and so on. I think a good first question would be is if they have experience in your particular genre. So I had somebody contact me not long ago about a book on horror. And while I have done horror, it's not really my thing so much. I find that I tend to laugh when I'm reading horror. I just can't escape that believability problem that what's happening in the book. So I'm not the best person for most horror. I do some, but yeah. So everybody's got their own preferences. And what you think is wrong with your manuscript and what I think is wrong with it could very well be two different things. Yes. So as far as my process goes, I like to read about, maybe 25 to 50 pages and decide if I want to see the entire manuscript. And anything I do on spec there's no charge. You should not have an editor who's going to charge you that upfront reading fee. That's a red flag. So they should at least be willing to read at least some of it without a reading fee. And after I have finished reading, I will have been taking notes and I get back to the author and let them know what I think the manuscript needs, how long it's going to take, if I am a good fit for them. And really, a lot of, especially first time authors, have a lot of questions. They want to feel comfortable with you. And a good way to do that can be on, say, a 20-minute exploratory phone call. Otherwise, I do everything via email. And of course, I have testimonials and recommendations from people because I have been doing this for a while.